we've got Lucy Olsen right here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the unfortunate reality with Lucy Olsen today. To say Lucy Olsen is not going to be a WNBA player, I don't know if I can say that. But I don't know if she makes if she even makes the Washington Mystics lineup. And I'm going to explain why Lucy Olsen is maybe going to struggle initially until she finds a team that has her kind of running the show playing her at the right way for her. So Lucy Olsen is a combo guard. She is a combo guard, but she is a 1. The problem is that she has to have the ball in her hands, but she can't shoot the 3. She has to play on the ball. And until she develops that 3-point shot, she has to become a player that dominates the ball. And I don't know if she's able to do that right now. I would have loved to have seen her playing point guard minutes. Like, I would have absolutely loved to have seen her play some point guard minutes for the Mystics. The thing is, if we're watching, there were times where Zay Green was taking the ball up instead of her. Sydney Johnson has absolutely zero, not need, even want to run Lucy Olsen as a point guard. Like, she needs to work on her ball handling. She hasn't turned the ball over yet due to her handling. I don't mind. I think she's a functional handle more than a flashy handle. I've always said this, like, if somebody has a functional handle, I'm all for it. I would rather someone have a functional handle than a flashy handle. But the problem is that she has not played with her head up. So, for me, I'm watching her play and I'm watching Van Lith play. And coming into this, I would have considered them both very good players. Like, everyone was saying Van Lith was a 2, and I'm like, no, she's a 1. She is a 1, but she is a dribble, get into her spot, can hit the pull-up, or can kick to a shooter. The difference is, if you're watching Hailey Van Lith playing with Chicago Sky, she plays with her head up. There's a big difference. Is that she is playing with her head up. She is looking, there are better players for her, than her. She's looking for players. She's looking for her own little bit. And like what Hailey Van Lith did to start off, is that she started off facilitating. And then now that it seems like Tyler Marsh has a bit more trust in her, she's getting more meaningful minutes. And yes, it is preseason, but she looks to have cemented herself as the backup for Courtney Vandersloot. And I don't know how many minutes she's going to play, but you can see that she's controlling the game. The only problem with Van Lith is that she overdribbles. Is that she sometimes takes 10 dribbles to get from point A to point B, and that point A to point B might be 5 meters. Sometimes she takes 10 dribbles. That's the only issue with Hailey Van Lith. But Hailey Van Lith is able to get a defender on her hip. She's able to draw in a bit of help. She's able to get that step on a defender. And Lucy Olsen's able to do the same. The difference is that they get to their spots, and no matter what, Lucy Olsen's pulling up. Lucy Olsen is pulling up no matter what once she gets to her spot. Whereas for Van Lith, especially now, she's looking for her own probably less than she should be. She's being a little bit less selfish, but as a backup in the WNBA, backup guard, there are players on your team that are established WNBA players. Even with a bench lineup for the Sky, there's Elizabeth Williams, there's Beck Allen. So she's looking for other players. She's looking almost pass first, and after a couple of passes, after a little bit of time finding her way into the game, then she's starting to take her shots. Lucy Olsen's coming in and gunning. She is coming in and gunning. And I don't know if she's good enough to come in and gun at the WNBA level. Like, Lucy's a shooter, you're not seeing her shoot. Lucy Olsen has shot the ball on average of 7 times per game. Like, she is shooting per minute more than Caitlin Clark. But, like, the problem with Lucy Olsen is she just can't shoot threes. She needs the ball in her hands, and she's not good enough right now to have the ball in her hands at the WNBA level. And I was really disappointed with I think maybe she's been told to go look for hers, but I think there's a reason they brought in Lauren Jensen. I just think that I thought in Iowa she looked very good when she was passing, But if you look back on her in Iowa, I watched a few clips of her, a lot of her assists. What she's actually pretty good at is driving in and dumping down to bigs. Whereas in the WNBA, you're not going to have Hayden and Stokey inside. You're going to have kind of shooters around. And she's not drawing the coverage either. She's not able to draw that second defender. Everyone knows she's pulling up. So they're guarding the pull-up. They're not expecting her to go to the basket. Whereas in Iowa, she was just better than everyone. Weaker defenders, she was able to pull up and hit that shot. I don't think Lucy Olsen is going to, be never in the WNBA. I don't see Lucy Olsen making a rotation this year. And I thought she looked okay against Indiana. I thought she looked okay. And the only thing that I like about Lucy Olsen is the only thing I liked about the second game is she's fearless. She's absolutely fearless. And she was on with some really, really bad teams. So I'm not going to blame her for that. But, she was fearless. And for that reason, I can see her being picked up. Or I can see her either being on the Mystics roster, getting DNPs for half the year, and then a few players getting injured, and her having a couple of big games. Or I can see her getting cut and nobody picking her up. And then later on in the year signing a hardship contract. Because there's not that much of a market for a volume shooting mid-range scorer. There's not. And not only that, if you're going to be a volume mid-range scorer, you have to be one of the top volume mid-range scorers in the league. There are not, you got to be Courtney Williams. If you want a rotation spot as a volume mid-range scorer, you realistically have to be Courtney Williams. And she's just not good enough at this point in time. And I do think that over the years, or in future years, she could be okay. She'll find, someone said it about expansion teams, 100%. I could see her making an expansion team next year. And with the way the WNBA is, you can always make a roster late. You can always go play overseas for a couple of years and kill it overseas and come back. That is something that Lucy Olsen has. She has time, and she's a legit pro. If you put Lucy Olsen in Turkey, she could go and she could drop 20. She can go and call her own number. She can put the ball in the basket. It's just with her style of play, and we saw zero facilitating. Other than one lob past Kiki, we saw zero facilitating in those two games. And for her to make a WNBA roster and be an active positive on a WNBA roster, actively a positive player, and not just there because they had the contract money and she was a 12th player. For her to make a WNBA roster, she has to be a really, at least an above average facilitator, because she's not good enough. Again, someone said Kennedy Carter. She's not Kennedy Carter. She's not Courtney Williams, and she does not shoot the three ball well enough. Not only that, she's a terrible off the dribble 3-point shooter. So she's not. So she's one dimensional when she's coming off that screen or she's driving to the basket. She's trying to get to her spot. And the problem is with a lot of, if you know anything about basketball with a lot of pull up mid range shooters, you can watch it, and if you watch just how they attack their spots, they look at their spot. So most pull up mid range shooters, you'll see it at every level. They will look at their spot, and they get to their spot, they rise up. It does not matter if there's a hand in their face. So a lot of the time you don't see the pull-up mid-range shooters being facilitators. Yes, the likes of Chris Paul and stuff are exceptions. But most of the time, the pull-up mid-range shooters aren't a lot of time they're not facilitators. And it's really hard to be a pull-up mid-range shooter, being able to get your spot, focus on where you're getting to, focus on rising up, and taking that shot while also thinking, okay, am I going to pass? And I don't think at this point in time, Lucy Olsen's a good enough defender. She's not a bad defender. She's not a good enough defender to be a locked-in defender. Not a good enough facilitator to run the one. And not a good enough pull-up mid-range shooter that you are going to actively put the ball in her hands and say, you take us home. So I think she will be a WNBA player. don't think it's going to be this year. And even if she makes the Mystics roster, which is a very good chance she does, even if they don't cut her, I can't see her playing much.